In the fifth part of lesson... In the fifth part of lesson 76, we're looking at Hogan's unified grip. So in this lovely ravioli drawing, the left hand and the right hand appear fused together. Now you can see the drawings, you can see the development in the muscles. So if you're holding the club well, the thumb muscle does start to protrude. You'll find that badminton players have a little walnut of a muscle there from the rotation of the forearm in badminton. Okay, but if you hold the club well, your thumb muscles here become quite pronounced, and the ravioli drawings. Now again on page 29, Mr. Hogan's talking about the V's created by the thumb and the index finger pointing just about here. And it's okay as a broad guide, but with variable ball position, I think we need to be a little bit more choosy. So then, going beyond that, going back to Alex Hayes' book, that's his version of the good grip. And again, I think you can see that Alex has really got the sense of the right palm hiding the left thumb. The grip is fused together, one unit, and Alex has taken the shaft away, but he's showing the relationship between the neutral grip and the club face. And that's a lovely image. I've got it blown up on the wall over there, but you can see that Mr. Hogan has greatly influenced Alex's drawing. So I just want to clear something up here about the relationship of the left hand in the golf swing and the club face. As I said earlier, our hands hanging at 45 degrees, lean forward, and we turn our hands to each other. So if I just lift my cardigan sleeves up, you can see the well-defined thumb muscles as though the thumbs were stitched to my index fingers. Fist and finger grip fit together. Now, can you see that there's a little bit of cupping here? So, if I turn and I show you wrist cock, if I show you that wrist cock from the front, the little bit of cupping actually increases somewhat. Now if I stand up and swing in plane, all is well and good, this is slightly cupped. If we drop that, if we flatten the left wrist, as the golf machine teachers tend to choose, then the club face drops a foot to 18 inches. So we need to understand that if the left thumb is parallel, which is neutral muscle structure, that is true wrist cock, right there. And with wrist cock comes a little bit of cup. Okay, cup the wrist, turn. Now, if I flatten that, there's a massive change and deviation. And that's what we saw in Sergio Garcia's swing throughout his career, slightly strong grip, and he would go back, and then as he pulled down, the cup would flatten, and you get a change of swing plane into impact. I'm not advocating that you should be excessively cupped. I'm just trying to make the point that with wrist hinge comes a mild cupping. It's interesting what the right hand does. If I make a swing with no wrist cock, this looks very, very natural. However, when you hinge your wrists and rotate your forearms, this hand folds back. It's quite a peculiar movement, isn't it? Now don't even try to think about it. It just happens because of the wrists and the forearms together. So let me make the point again. If I just make a movement with the shoulders and the forearms, I get a hint of wrist hinge and all is well. I don't want that to flatten. So if I go back and I hinge, I can release absolutely freely. It would be a mistake to have that flattened. Building the grip. I now load my left shoulder fully under my throat. I can show you that my wrists are hinged neutrally. If that flattens, I'm in trouble. Okay? So, I load the shoulder under my throat. My wrist hinge and forearm rotation is under control. I can now hit the ball with as much freedom as I want. It's amazing, isn't it? Even with the pause, I've only lost a little bit of distance. Actually quite a good shot. So one more time. Wrist hinge is that, added to shoulder turn. That's a mistake. You've got to do a lot of compensating. There's nothing wrong with being there. Now as you come down, it may flatten because of the forces of the swing, but it's not something you want to be playing around with. It's too complex. And I think those of you who follow Dustin Johnson's career I think you'd recognise that shots from 100 yards and in, he's been suspect with. It's all very well with a full screen controlling that, but when you're hitting half wedges off bare lighter type flags, that's not a good place to play wedges from. He's won 1 major now, 2 majors. I think he'd won 6 or 7 if his grip had not been neutral, but mildly strong. I think that's cost Dustin over the years. It's made him long, but I think he's suffered from 100 yards in.